had that man
Doc
so mad.
are paying and
Bro.
housing these people.
Bro,
She's
she
got
had-
people working for free.
she
She's
had
got
Joe-
hundreds
no,
of
that's
people
the worst
working
thing.
for free.
That's the worst thing. Next to the husband.
And they're working there on
experience.
Christmas Day too.
Okay,
Every day
they
for
work
free.
They work at Doc's Colt Farm on Christmas. They don't have
Yeah,
holidays.
but at least they live there.
with the baklava.
They have
with
a
the
nice
baklava.
they have a nice house.
Is it though?
They
But
look
no,
like pretty nice houses.
What did the woman that left say they had him actually living in? The
That
woman
was at the
left
beginning
said-
of it though.
You think it changed?
Yeah, they were all.
You think
It
he
looked
upgraded?
like it.
If you marry him, it might be upgraded. If you don't marry him,
Maybe.
if you don't become one of his 12 wives, you
Yeah.
probably get a great value, a Walmart family restroom size house. That's probably what you get.
Well, I guess that's it for our first impression.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff.
We're sounding like our
That
final impressions
It did.
pretty much.
It kind of turned into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was turned to overall impressions. That
Yeah.
was good stuff.
Um,
So, what were you? I guess what were you guys? Some of you guys' favorite moments in the show?
I mean, my favorite moment was, this is later on in the show,
Yeah.
but one of my favorites is just him running for president and
That was
running for
amazing.
governor.
That was
That was
incredible.
amazing.
I don't know how I missed that when it happened. Like that should have been more viral than it did.
Apparently, it was pretty viral, and a lot of people
Yeah, it made
had
it-
already
it
seen it,
made,
but I'd never seen that,
yeah, it made,
especially his presidential trailer.
It made John Oliver show,
Yeah.
which I should have seen that at some point because I watched John Oliver on occasion, but like
Mhm.
I didn't see that, and I'm very upset because I would have loved that, and I would have sent that to you, and
Yeah.
I probably would have like just posted him on Facebook a bunch just because of how funny it was. Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy run. Didn't he run as like what he ran as for the governor, a libertarian?
Yeah, and he had no idea what a libertarian was.
He got 18% of the libertarian race between 3 people.
Yeah. Which,
Like he ran for president too, and he got like 960 something votes.
wow.
And then he ran for governor, and he got like 630.
Yeah.
See, I feel like half the people
did that
didn't even know who he was, but they just saw the last name Exotic, and they're like, "Oh, this should be
that was about
interesting."
it. Yeah, that had to
Check.
be what it was. That was. Yo, how about dude that became the campaign manager and was like,
Yeah.
I became his campaign manager. It was one of the worst things I've ever done. What do you think was gonna happen, bro?
And then stuck by him.
Yeah.
For the whole rest
Yes.
of the series.
Yes.
Like,
That was crazy.
I think he was like the most normal guy of all of them.
He was.
He was.
And
Him?
actually, part of me is thinking, like, yeah, that guy's kind of crazy, but I have a lot of respect for him because he was a manager at Walmart. His dream job was to be a campaign manager.
And he took the first
one
one
of
he
his
got.
familiar, crazy customers comes in and offers him his dream job, and he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna take it. Like,
took the-
and so you know what? He took that leap of faith, Titus.
did.
Like, he took the leap of getting into his dream job.
That's
He's like,
like-
hey, I'll be your campaign manager, and he did everything for him.
That's kind of one of those situations where it's like there are no in sports where there are like no coaching jobs available, so you gotta take the worst possible job
Yeah.
just because you want to be a head coach. That's
Exactly.
what that was for him.
Yeah.
That's really what that was.
And who knows? In a few years, he might be somebody else's. He might be
It's very
Ron Paul's next campaign
It's very possible.
manager.
Oh, and one more thing. Speaking about Joe, how about he blew up his own facility, and then the dude that rebuilt it only charged him $8,000 for a $120,000 job.
Yeah, that was crazy
What?
too. And yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I didn't make any money off
Yeah.
that." And then I wanted to ask, did you lose money? Like, was there money lost in it? Because, and he was like, the trade off was I got to play with Tigers.
Yeah, I got to play with Tigers.
So I got to
But
play with
the money-
Tigers
Yeah,
every
like
day.
I'm like, bro, you took that big of a haircut. You couldn't take like a $10,000 haircut.
Bro, it
was
sounds like
10% off. You
it
charged
sounds like a
$8,000?
$5,000 investment into a baby tiger can save you a lot of money down the road.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
exactly. You won't have to pay for an expensive car or anything to impress other people. Just carry around. You can be homeless, bro, but you got a baby tiger. You're going to be okay in life here in
That's
America.
low-key a
You'll
fact,
find your
yeah.
way to the top
Nah, that's really a fact.
for a
though.
baby tiger.
That's really a fact.
Yeah,
Unless
Oh.
Carol Baskin comes after you.
unless Carol. Yeah,
Don't start. None won't be none. It's a classic phrase. It's a classic phrase.
But that's the thing. You got to think, too. Going back
Yeah.
back to Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
That Carol Baskin. Going back to her, though, you talk about how, like, she was manipulative and, like, how that was respectable and stuff.
Yeah.
I just got to think, though, she antagonized that man until he completely lost his mind.
yeah.
Did that take a lot though?
It probably didn't take much.
I mean,
But you got to think, if you're being pushed that hard, every dime you've ever made is gone. Every dime your parents have ever made are gone, and they still coming after you.
Yeah,
But what led to that?
it's no chill.
Him building the fake address in Florida to try and mess with her facility. and then
Well,
find the-
she still kept coming after him though and antagonizing him,
That's-
and I'm not saying he
yeah.
responded in the right way, but he did everything he could to try to get away from that.
Well,
And
it
we're
started,
forgetting
the
She
thing is,
still
we're
kept
forgetting
coming
she's
after
the one
started-
who started the battle in the first
Yes.
place.
The lawsuit started with copyright infringement. A simple copyright infringement turned into him losing everything. Because he
Yeah,
couldn't-
but he would. But that's down the road though.
But that's
when
what I'm saying,
she's
but
the
that's
one,
what
she's the
started-
one who picked this
that's what
battle.
started his downfall.
Yeah, she still
He-
came after him though, and the only reason that he copied that was to try to get back at her.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta take your L's and move on. Pride comes before losing your tiger pin.
Yeah, but we're also okay. We're also dealing with somebody who we would say is a weak-minded. We're all in consensus here that we're all against bullying, and we're especially against bullying when it's somebody who's way more dominant or smarter than the other person that they're bullying. All right. Well, I think I'm. So I don't know. I mean, she's already got the money, dude. Like, it's like, what else does she want? She just wants the Tigers. That's what she wants.
She didn't
She
get the money.
wanted to
But she
crush
didn't get the money
him.
because he was
She
broke.
wanted to crush him.
She didn't get the money because he was broke. He didn't have no money to give her.
Yeah, so
Remember?
she took everything that he had and his
Yeah.
parents had.
Yeah.
I really don't see how you can respect this.
You ever heard the story of Icarus? You know the story of Icarus?
No.
It's Greek mythology. He flew too close to the sun. His wings burned off. Right? That's what happened.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
Joe
that,
King
yeah.
was Icarus. He flew too close to the crazy cuckoo lady nest, and got his mama house taken. Almost.
Yeah, but I think the same thing's going to come around to her though if she's not
Oh,
careful.
they're all gonna get it at some point.
Oh, she's gonna get it.
It's
I
coming
think
for
she's
all
gonna
of
get
them.
it.
Let's
It is
talk
coming
about that for a
everyone.
minute though.
Talk about.
Like, are we talking about the whole like conspiracy of whether or not she killed her husband?
Yes,
Yeah. So
he did. He did.
Like everybody thinks she did it.
But I don't know. I wonder how she. I don't know if she fed him to a tiger specifically.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
I don't know how she did it, but she made that man disappear.
but yeah, somehow or another, they ain't nobody.
Exactly.
yeah, and I tried to fact check the whole.
And
Would that be possible if they
Yeah.
did feed him to a tiger? Would
Yeah,
the
you-
stomach acid really be strong enough to just break down everything to where there would be no human remains
there's
left?
also inconclusive, right?
Yeah, it was kind of inconclusive. Yeah, no side is really like telling us
Yeah.
if a tiger can digest
Right.
a human like that. Probably for good
Well, it can.
purposes.
Stomach acid can digest bone.
Oh,
It can. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure a tiger. What they're eating in the wild is way bigger than a human.
True.
And probably more dense than a human as well.
for sure.
So yeah, I could easily believe she just fed them to a tiger. They ate everything there was. She probably put the tiger in a pen for about 24 hours. Let that poop come through. Scoop up that poop. Go throw it away somewhere. That's it.
I wonder if she. I feel like Carol knows good elixirs to make you go to sleep for a long time.
Well, apparently she knows sardine
she drugged
oil will attract the tiger to
Mhm.
eat somebody.
So I think she.
Where she kind of gave
That's
away her little
right.
bluff right there.
Yeah.
That's right. I didn't
Yeah.
even put that together.
I think
Yeah.
I think she definitely drugged him and left him somewhere where things may have happened to his body, as she got rid of it. The thing that made me think she did it was how she had an answer for literally everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like she had been rehearsing it for 30 years, and specifically the remembering the early line. Remember that?
Which is-
He said he had to leave early in the
Yeah.
morning.
Always the same
Yes,
line.
the same answer, which is the moves of a cold killer.
Yeah.
You just gotta remember your alibi and say exactly the same.
Yeah.
She 100% did it.
But she
However.
also had a boyfriend after him before she married the man that was on the show.
Oh, that guy.
Howard.
And
Oh
he-
God, Howard.
And he also had to file a restraining order
Yeah.
against her.
Yeah.
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 She's crazy, dude.
She is crazy.
I don't see.
However-
You're gonna get on to me later for liking Jeff Lowe and putting Jeff Lowe in my top 3 in power rankings
Jeff
because
Lowe
he's an
is-
awful human
it's
being. But you're gonna
categories-
sit here and defend Carol
I
Baskins.
defended her facility and her ruthlessness. There is a difference.
All right, then let me defend Jeff Lowe's facility.
He doesn't have
of
a facility. He
multiple
stole it.
women, and
No.
exactly. But he got the facility though.
No, Jeff Lowe's most
This
women doesn't
facility-
bother me. Jeff Lowe's most women
Can we
doesn't bother
say
me.
okay? Did Carol Baskins stole that facility she's in too? Was that her money that built the facility?
Partially. What's mine
No,
and yours?
it was her dead husband's
It was her
money.
dead.
What's mine is
her
yours.
dead-
That's
It
what it
doesn't sound
says.
like Carol Baskins had a legit job at any
What's-
point during this.
what's mine
She
is
was
yours.
living off her husband
That's
the
what the
whole
vows
time.
say. The vows say what's mine is yours. Look, she ended up
That is
with.
true.
Yeah, I guess.
As a married woman, that is true.
See,
Ask,
there we go.
ask Jeff Bezos. He
There we go.
knows.
Ask Adele. Ask
Yeah.
Adele. You heard what she lost?
No.
Adele got to give like 80% of her earnings to her husband in the
Hey,
divorce.
so it's reciprocal for men too. I'm definitely finding me a sugar
Britain.
mama. Then
That's England. That's English. That's British rules.
Oh,
Don't
I'm
try.
moving to England and finding me a sugar mama. The Queen of England.
Yeah.
She got a king.
Definitely.
Oh, she
fairly
does.
certain. I'm fairly
Is she?
certain.
Wait, cannot. Yeah, I know it's off. Is the Queen of England married?
Not
think
anymore.
Not
He
anymore.
passed.
So he's
was.
passed.
He's
Okay. Yeah.
How long
the
ago
King
was
of
it that
England. When he
passed?
died, she became
Yeah.
the figurehead.
How long ago was that?
That'd be a long time ago.
Yeah, I feel like because
Okay.
I've yet.
60s,
Wow.
Well,
Sheesh.
yeah.
60s.
I think we need to start.
60s.
Did the Queen of England kill her husband?
Hey, how about we don't? How about we don't do that? Because I don't want no problems with England.
Well, we could just watch another Netflix show called The Crown, and we find out all this stuff,
Oh yeah, I heard
which
the
is how
Crown
we know.
It's so
Oh.
good.
Is it good?
It's a good
Okay,
show.
cool. I'm gonna check that. We should check that out.
Yeah.
For sure. I like when we do.
But
shows.
you got to watch the Aaron. Y'all got to watch the Aaron Hernandez
yeah.
doc first because
That's
I
on
would like
Netflix.
to have a podcast on that.
That's on it. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
on
this.
Netflix.
I like
I don't
when
even know
we
who that
create new
is.
podcasts.
You don't know who Aaron Hernandez is? He was the
What?
football player for.
That explains why I don't know who he is.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but he was like a serial killer.
yeah, he was a highly touted
Yeah.
college football player. He played with Tim Tebow at Florida, and then he
What
went
a
and played
locker
for the
room.
Patriots and turned out to be a serial killer, and then killed himself in jail.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy story. It's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
he was like one of the best. He was
He
one
was
of the top
super good.
players in the
He
league
was
at
so
the
good.
time.
Yeah, he was so
Yeah.
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like a 5, 6. It's about the same length as
Mm.
Tiger King.
Yeah.
It's less episodes, but they're just longer and really good, really
Yeah.
good stuff.
The Queen Elizabeth's husband has not died.
Oh,
Well,
so why don't we hear about him?
because he's probably not
But who, Prince Philip?
a royal. Because I think she's the royal. She's the one of royal descent.
Is the husband of Queen
Oh,
Elizabeth?
man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking way back in.
Yeah,
I think
she's
she-
the
Prince
one of
Philip, the
royal
Duke
Yeah,
of
she's the one of
Edinburgh.
royal.
Yeah.
She's the one of royal blood, so he's not gonna have any heir.
So
He
they
He
call
is
him
98.
Oh yeah. So
Prince. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
But he can't be the king because of the family bloodline or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Wait, so who's gonna take over after them though? Because didn't like
One of them older ones.
one abdicated his.
Yeah, but he wasn't. I don't think he was anywhere close to getting it. I think he was like way down the line to where he probably was never gonna end up being king.
I don't know.
I think is what I heard. Hey, Meghan
It's
Markle.
another podcast for another day,
Yeah.
right?
Shout
Yeah.
out, shout out to Meghan Markle.
So back to
Big fan of
Tiger
her.
King.
I'm sorry. Yeah, where did we leave off at?
Oh, we were talking about Carol killing her husband.
Oh yeah, I would like to say the fact she killed her husband like 20 years ago and is still like calm about that speaks to a level of crazy
Yes.
that I fear and also respect a little bit. Like 2%.
Because you have no choice.
2%.
And the fact is, she's more concerned. Like anytime you ever talk to him, it's just I'll never be able to clear my name.
Yeah,
it's
no,
always
yeah.
about clearing her name
Right.
and not about the fact that your freaking husband disappeared.
Yeah, and you took all the money from his family. At the end.
Yeah,
and
so
like,
that's
and she's
another thing,
okay
too.
with that. There's no remorse. There's no
No.
sadness.
No.
It's just
She's just
deadpan with a smile.
She's
I'm
just
never
pure
gonna
evil.
get my whatever. I'm never gonna be able to clear my name.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's evil.
I'm like,
She's
oh my
absolutely evil.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did it, no
and
doubt.
Then, and then the alibi for every little teeny
Everything,
tiny
yeah.
detail.
Every answer, the way they put that together was beautiful. I'm like, okay, yeah, you just make it like she did it for sure.
hmm
She definitely did.
But yeah, they were still impartial. But yeah,
Impartial.
a good
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the last episode had me doubt a little bit that she actually did it, but now, well, really after I heard O.J. Simpson saying that, there was no shred of doubt.
I
in
mean,
his
once
mind.
OJ says it.
Yeah,
like,
once OJ
yeah.
did it, I mean,
OJ,
I just
OJ
knew that
calls
was
you
a
a murderer.
fact.
OJ calls you a
When a
murderer.
professional
It's a
calls
fact.
you out.
Yeah, exactly.
professional-
Takes one to know
Sorry,
one.
OJ.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. That's
Shout
that's
out to
definitely the
OJ.
limit. That's definitely what does it.
Also, speaking of it, OJ, did you hear him say? He said if they take golf away with him, he's going to go crazy.
Oh,
You know,
God.
talking about this COVID-19.
Somebody make sure.
Yeah,
golf
so
doesn't
we
leave.
got to keep golf in
Please.
OJ's life.
We
or
don't need that.
There will be people not in his life anymore.
We're gonna show up in an episode of the Kardashians or something.
Yeah.
Good God. So
Moving on.
yeah. One thing about Joe that struck out to me is the reason I believe 100% that he blew up his own alligator facility with all the tapes in there is because when Joe got arrested for this murder for hire that he may or may not have done, which I'm still conflicted on whether he did that or not. Joe was like, okay, I'm in jail. Guess what? I'm taking everybody now because I got files on everybody. You know who would do that? The type of person who would blow up his own animal facility with all his film equipment in there because he found out he didn't own the footage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of person who would do that.
Yeah.
So Joe's like I can't have it. Well, nobody can. Everything's blowing up. Fire, pain,
But-
snitching.
What about the footage of the dude that was walking away from that.
That
Well,
was,
they say they kind of look
that was
like Joe.
That was Joe.
Yeah, they say it was Joe.
I think it was Joe. Yeah.
Because Joe said it looked
'Cause-
like Rick.
Of course he did.
The
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirkman.
Because you had to
And
blame Kirkman.
well, and two,
Poor Kirkman.
Joe or whoever this figure was, the only distinct thing you couldn't really see his face. It was just how they walked.
Yeah.
And the dude, whoever it was, which I think it was Joe, he was wearing the same hat that Kirkman wears or is wearing in the documentary. And it seems like that's just a hat he's always worn on his head. So I think Joe framed it pretty well
Yeah, for
to
sure, for sure.
kind of walk like
And
him and put that hat on his
I think
head.
you said this last week where he had to go to a funeral in Chicago. It was Joe's alibi.
Yeah.
And you said that who would want Joe at their funeral?
Yeah, I said,
If
A,
it was
who would
family?
want Joe Exotic at their funeral? Who invited him? And B,
Yeah.
I highly doubt Joe Exotic knows anyone in Chicago.
Yeah. No, that doesn't. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that
he's
doesn't
never
add
been
up.
more north than Oklahoma.
And especially who wanted him at his funeral, especially when we saw the funeral later for Travis,
yeah,
where Joe was
Exactly.
allowed to speak and said so many things. So many
he
things.
just
that
spit
just-
his balls in my face.
they were
He
like,
wanted to make me smile.
Yo, I'm sitting
they were
like,
like golden
like,
nuggets, that boy.
Yo, and I'm sitting there like, yo, this man's
In
mother,
front of his mama.
his mother
Yes.
is right there, and you're saying this.
Bruh, I lost so much respect for Joe Exotic during that funeral scene
Yeah.
because it was so obvious that that funeral was for Joe
it was his show.
Exotic.
Yeah,
yeah, it was
definitely.
his show.
Definitely.
And it was just really insensitive, and I felt bad too because homie who just killed himself, man, it was because of Joe Exotic. I mean,
Right,
Joe Exotic's
right.
the reason why homie
And-
killed himself.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
to get serious, that footage that they had of what happened when the gun went off and
Yeah.
the campaign manager just sitting there in pure shock was so
That
strong.
was hard to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It was because you didn't see what happened, but you knew what happened
Yeah.
just by his facial
Yeah.
expressions.
You can see the flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Then
all
just-
you can see.
Yeah, and
And
then
then he
him being unable to
froze.
move, and he just couldn't move. He
Yeah.
was just like standing there looking at it.
And
his
it almost
face-
looked like the footage was paused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But that guy was
exactly.
frozen.
And his,
Yeah.
and his face too, because that is such a. I put myself in his shoes. I was like, man, I probably would have reacted the same way because
for
it's not
sure.
like a look of horror. You know, it's
Yeah,
not like a
it's-
oh my god. It's more of a half smile, half
Yeah.
what in the world just is going on,
Exactly,
and you're just
exactly.
like. I couldn't imagine that. You know,
No.
somebody's
It's
just taking their
surreal.
life right in
Yeah.
front of you in mid conversation too.
Right, right. And you go
Um,
from thinking that, oh, you're joking to, no, that's really blood. Oh,
Yeah.
he's really not moving.
Yeah. It's like, what do you
That was
even
chilling,
do
bro.
at that point?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was chilling to me.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, I want to kind of get into that more.
This is a-
Travis.
yeah, Travis was
Travis.
an interesting
Yeah. So Travis,
case.
he he migrated from California, somehow got to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Don't know what he was doing. Didn't they kind of explain that towards the end, what he was leaving for or went to Oklahoma? I don't know.
Well, his
I'm not
mom,
sure.
his mom said that she didn't really understand how they got hooked up.
Yeah.
You know, Joe
Yeah.
was a year older than the mom was,
Mhm.
and she
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"I
yeah.
don't really know how all this happened."
Yeah. And he kind of just found Travis, I think,
Yeah.
or whatever, which is
That's
like we said that everybody who works for Joe Exotic are these people who have nowhere else to go, and they
Right.
just happen to cross paths with Joe, and he
Yeah.
gives them a place to stay and a job and some meaning in their life, pretty much. And I could tell from the first clip, I thought this dude, I'd have a hard time believing this dude's like really gay.
yeah.
you
So
know?
that's one thing that I didn't notice because I was listening more than I was watching. But it seems apparently obvious to everyone except for me because I wasn't watching that much that these people weren't actually gay.
Yeah,
Because I didn't know. My mom texted me like on episode 1, and she's like, "I don't think this dude's gay," and I'm like, "Okay, how does everyone know this and I didn't notice it?" Because I just was listening. I
I
wasn't
mean,
You
really
gotta
watching
be
that much.
watching for that.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
And
gotta
it's
see.
mainly about how he looked.
Yeah,
It
okay.
was kind of like.
Yeah, yeah.
This dude probably had, he didn't have trouble getting girls like
Yeah.
back in Cali.
Yeah.
And he looked like an athlete too. Like he's probably very involved
Mm.
in sports in high school or whatever. But the whole thing blew me away because it was really sad. I was thinking during the documentary, where's Travis in all this? Because you never see him interviewed, and you never see him
Yeah.
in the footage either of when
Right.
they're talking about taking care of the Tigers or whatever. He's
Yeah.
not there, and so he's pretty much Joe's trophy husband.
Yeah.
And he took a dude in a vulnerable age, 19.
That's one
not
thing I got
knowing-
from Doc was his love of barely of age people.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but that's how it all goes into brainwashing people too.
Yeah,
It's like you got to
for
get
sure.
people at a vulnerable stage in their
Mhm.
life where they might be struggling with who they are, what do they want to do, what's their
right.
purpose in life, And here he is. He gets meets this dude who makes it seem like he's got a lot of money by providing pretty much whatever he wants, 4-wheelers, all these toys, takes care of them, gives them drugs because he's apparently addicted to meth.
Yes.
He's got meth for him, also keeps him supplied with weed. And so, yeah, I mean, the whole thing was sad.
It definitely was.
That's to me the most sad thing out of the whole documentary.
Oh,
and
100%.
I don't think he gets enough recognition in the documentary as well.
Yeah,
and
because
he's not honored in it.
You're right, because they kind of mentioned him in the second episode when they show that they added a third person to their marriage.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really get brought up that much, like you said, until the death.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get. Yeah, he kind of pushed to the back burner.
Yeah.
And then the funeral, which talked to his mom about Joe and her relationship with Joe and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right about that. He didn't get a lot of attention.
So I think, that's where I really just lost a lot of respect for Joe Exotic because
I think that was a turning point for sure.
it was a turning point
'Cause
for
he
him.
was-
He went crazy after that, but also, I mean,
You just see
that
how
dude's responsible. I mean, if you had to put anybody, if you had to make somebody responsible
Yeah.
for that,
Oh yeah,
you got to make Joe
Honestly, yeah.
responsible for it.
Yeah.
Even though we're all our own
Obviously,
people, we
yeah.
all make our own
Right.
choices. But
and obviously playing with guns isn't smart, but also he was only in that position because of what Joe was doing.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah. So it was really sad.
It was. It definitely was.
And I wonder if they left a lot of that stuff out of respect because of that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so too. Because I don't think they wanted to make it too heavy.
Yeah.
They wanted people
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get more humor.
And you know
out
what?
of it.
I wonder if the more you show of him, the less people would have felt. You know what I mean? They want people to really sit with that and
Yeah.
understand that there's a family grieving. I think they did a good job showing his mother and showing there's a real family behind this too.
Yeah.
And the more footage you show, people probably would have gotten real cynical about him.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point, Clay. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
think about
maybe.
that, but yeah, for sure.
Or get too attached to him. Maybe.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows, a Ruger will fire if the clip's not in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. good gun knowledge right
Just
Safety.
there. For sure.
Yeah, Travis
sure.
almost killed
Don't play
people
with
too with his irresponsible gun
Yeah,
handling.
yeah. Do not play with guns, man. That's just
Yeah, because he pointed the gun at the other
he
dude
pointed at-
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
They said, "Oh, don't worry, it won't shoot." Bang,
Yeah.
and he's dead.
Well, he said there's gonna be sometimes
And
too he would wake up and Travis
The
would,
guy would be
and,
standing over him with a
there'd be
gun.
barrel like in his
Yeah.
face because he'd just be playing around with it.
Oh man, that just creeps me out. Like people playing with guns or pointing a gun at somebody.
Yeah,
Like
it's
even when Joe ran up in those earlier scenes where he put the gun in front of the camera with his
Yeah.
finger on the trigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That crawls all over me because whole firearm safety, like
Right.
you don't have your finger on the trigger unless you're planning to shoot,
Exactly.
and you got to have muzzle awareness, know what you're pointing at.
Yeah.
Oh, it just crawls all over me, man.
Well, now
Yeah.
now I'm starting to think, was Travis's suicide an accident?
See, I thought it was a suicide because of the footage that they showed where he was like out in that field by the lake and he was like, I'm going to have one more beer before I die. So
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like, I guess, paid attention to something else for a second, right when that gun shot. And so I thought that it was a suicide. And then Clay was like, no, it was an accident. And so I heard everything they were saying about how he would come into the office and like play with the gun and point it at the guy all the time. But I didn't realize that one time was where he was playing. I thought he had actually come in and shot him.
Oh, yeah.
Like that it was purposeful suicide.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
'cause
so
the
it
scene-
was accidental.
It was accidental because he came in messing with the other dude,
Right.
pointed the gun at him, which you couldn't see because he was behind the camera,
Mm-hmm.
behind the security camera. And he's like, "Dude, I told you not to point that gun at me." And he said, "Oh, don't worry, there's no clip in it, and it won't fire without the clip in it. See, boom." And
Yeah.
and you don't see it, but I mean,
the-
you know what happens.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
So I guess I
everything I
kind of
read-
lost the
Yeah.
dialogue in that then.
And the reckless
Okay.
nature of them in general, you could very easily see somebody doing that with a gun. Like,
But
I
the
could've seen
scene-
any of them shoot themselves with a gun. at some
Yeah.
point.
Because I thought it was purposeful, just like you said, Miss Christina. The whole scene leading up to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew what was coming. Like I was like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
dude's about to kill himself."
Right.
Yes.
And then I think I got more fixated on the dude talking about how he came in and he was just complaining the whole time.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I thought he was just venting, and
Yeah,
then
that's how I took
boom.
it.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
everything I read said that it was an accident, and I was like, Clay, they're saying that was an accident, and that guy really killed himself, and he was like, no, they were playing, it was an accident.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
ruled a suicide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he might have wanted to do, like, we don't know what his intentions were
Yeah.
with the gun anyway.
Yeah.
But the scene right before that was what makes you think that it possibly could be purposeful,
Yeah.
because he's sitting there cross-legged drinking a beer with an AR-15 up to his mouth. I mean, it's not in his mouth, but I'm
Yeah.
like, it's aimed at his face.
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's a good chance he was probably somebody with suicidal tendencies. For
Yeah.
sure. And that, but it had the way it happened probably wasn't what was a plan. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that could be it.
agreed.
Yeah. Because that stuff is, and words have power. Sometimes you just speak things, and when you're feeling away, and then you speak things, it's just, yeah.
And if
Get
there's
in the way.
drug use involved, then
Absolutely.
you're an altered mental state anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it sounded like the problem was he didn't have enough drugs because he was complaining he didn't have enough weed. So that's what I was thinking. He was like, he doesn't have enough weed. He's just going to end it right here.
and he was saying that Joe didn't respect him enough, and he didn't do enough or spend enough
Yeah.
time with him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was all.
He was
planned.
already in his feels anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
On
think if
a,
I lived there, I would be in my feels the entire time.
Yeah.
honestly though,
Some kind of way.
honestly, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, can we while we're talking about the husbands, why didn't they let John wear a shirt? in his
Yeah.
interviews?
And why don't they show his new teeth?
I think that was
Yeah, they didn't show his. Oh, he got new teeth. He said they didn't show his teeth.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
that
he
was
got new teeth.
manipulative
It was for the. It was for the-
documentary work.
Yeah, that
I
was
mean,
for the aesthetics, right?
it's to
Yeah.
make you feel a certain way
Yeah,
about the
make it not
characters.
seem normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same reason that the girl that got her arm bit off, I forget her name, the girl that worked
Kelsey.
there. Yeah, Kelsey. And they put her outside around all these garbage and like looked like she was sitting in a garbage dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this. It's the way documentary, like the way filmmakers
Try and
make you
treat-
feel
yeah.
a certain way about a
Yeah.
character.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a video. What's the guy's name?
Curtis, somebody from Light and Sound.
Anyway, we can put it in the show notes or something. But
Okay.
there's a video of a filmmaker that actually knows Doc Antle, and he was saying, "Here's how the documentary crew could make you feel any kind of way about any kind of one of these characters." So he interviewed his wife and made the outcome of the first one seem like she was totally against everything that Doc Antle was doing, and then the second cut made it look like she was singing his praises.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it was night and day different. And he's like, all you got to do is put the person in the right situation and like lead them into certain questions and ask them way more than you're actually going to use.
Yeah.
Because, and
yeah.
you ask certain questions knowing what the answer is going to be, knowing that you can trade out that answer for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so manipulative.
Yeah, interviews
So-
in a way, like especially for things like that, or like a game of chess where you're just trying to draw people out and get them to say things that would be interesting for you to put in your thing.
Yeah.
And there's like venting what they went through in their experiences. You can just pick it out and put what you want in there.
Yeah.
It's why like any documentary, you always have like some level of edit skepticism, which I had less with this just because everyone was so crazy in it. And they all seem legitimately crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, all of you are crazy. I don't even know how much editing they need to do for you.
That's why I find the Hernandez documentary so interesting too, is because you can get a lot of conversation out of that and a lot of
Yeah.
I guess different opinions, because you can argue, because there's a lot of factors that go into his whole why the way he is. And so it's just pretty much like, do you believe how like the documentary put it out there, or
Yeah.
do you believe it was different? So that's like a big argument in that too.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely look into
Well,
that.
Carol Baskin didn't even like the way she was portrayed.
Well,
Oh, because like she killed her
Duh.
husband?
no,
is-
because
is it that part?
she was probably watching it the whole time, and she knew. She was like, I didn't play this off good enough. It's like, this was way too obvious. I killed him.
Yo, her new husband is the most cringy thing I've ever seen. in
I
my life.
love that dude. I hate him and I love him
I've
at the same time.
Never cringed so much.
Like his as soon as I saw that first picture of them when they got married and he's on a leash, I was like, this is the guy. Like, God made this guy for Carol. You know, she just fooled around too much at the beginning, but this was the guy at the end who she was really meant
Bro,
to be with.
When
2 peas in a pod.
when he was singing,
Yes.
and she looked like, please stop. When
Yeah.
she had to smile for the cameras because she had an image to maintain. I was so I had to skip it. I couldn't watch it. I heard like the first 2 notes. Like, I can't watch this. I have to get past this. This is stressing me out.
Well, I
Like,
think the
just can't.
documentarian did a good job when the first clip of them together is her going by the headstones or plaques or whatever, all their past lions.
Yeah.
And he steps a little too close to her, and she just turned around and is very subtle, and she was like, "Oh, you want to read the tiger plaques?" Like, because she'd gotten way too close, like behind him or whatever. He was like walking behind her, and I was like, "That's when I knew." I judged her right there off that first one. I was like, "Oh yeah, I know who she is. I know exactly how she ticks."
She's like, "Oh, you want to read this?"
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh no, honey." He was like, because he was just like trying to avoid a rock or something, and so he had to take a bigger step, and he got way too close to her, and so she let him know real quick, "Hey, you in my camera light, get off me."
Yeah.
And so he apologized real quick and
Yeah.
took a few steps back.
Right. While we're talking about the side characters, I guess we can kind of wrap up with the side characters. Kelsey might be the most regular person, the most regular non-tiger owning person.
She's the most respectable one to me.
For sure, because she actually legitimately was there for the animals, and she didn't care about anything else.
I
Because
think
at the end, what she said, then nobody won, everyone lost.
Mhm.
So she said, yeah, and that was the most honest thing, and like everyone lost here.
I think actually, she was the most level-headed one.
For sure.
I would put her second. I think the one I respected the most or I liked the most, I'm trying to see if I can find his name, but it was like the head caretaker for Joe's, the dude with the long blonde hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I really
yeah,
like that
yeah,
dude. He was
yeah.
very neutral in it too. Also, the dude who didn't have any legs.
Yeah, that guy. The
Um,
guy who crushed his feet
yeah.
and then lost his
Yeah.
feet
Those
because
that-
he was coming back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those three were definitely like the good three
For sure.
good people
For sure.
in it.
For
They
sure.
shed some light, but
Yeah.
and they were the most down to earth.
Yeah.
And those people
then, like-
genuinely cared about.
Yeah, I was legitimately
Tigers.
because I heard before I watched that the Kelsey person had her arm eaten, and then came back to work a week later. I'd heard that before.
It's like
and
5-6 days later.
Yeah, 5 days later, and I watched it, and I'm like, there's no way she can make this make sense to me. And then she explained it, and I'm like, okay, if you really love the animals, I guess it makes sense you came back to work so this place wouldn't get shut down. All right, gotcha. Okay, I'm following you now. Because I was so confused, like, there's no way this makes sense. Speaking of that, shout out to Joe for being like, going to the gift shop, like, hey, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The tiger just bit one of our people's arms off. I can give you a rain check, or you can come back another time, or I can give you a refund. A discount? I don't want to. You told me somebody got their arm eaten off. Why are you talking to me?
No, one of the most underrated parts of the documentary, and it's in that scene, is where homie has a EMS jacket, or he got a bomber jacket that has the EMS logo stitched on the back of it. He grabbed that thing real quick, came out there for the rescue. He's like Dwight.
Yeah.
With a volunteer sheriff's
Perfect.
department.
volunteer
He's real quick to go grab that coat and badge whenever there's an investigation that needs to be
That's a
had.
fact. And then Joe's like, they're like, what do you want us to do? Go feed the animals. What do you think I want you to do? You need to get paid.
Get back to work.
Yeah, go
I'm surprised they didn't like just
Clearly, he's hungry.
yeah.
right.
I'm surprised they didn't like just take her arm. They're like, hey, they might like this arm.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
feed it
exactly.
to the tigers. It's like, you're not going to use this, are you?
That was-
Also another good guy in it who I really liked was, dude, I really feel bad for Rick Kirkham.
Man, poor Rick,
his whole
bro.
life's half his life's
he
work.
had all the gold. My bad. This documentary, if he gets to do his reality show, this documentary might even happen.
Oh
If it was his
yeah.
reality
That
show
reality show
in a-
would have been. It would have surpassed Jersey
Yes.
Shore as the best reality
absolutely.
show of all time.
Yo, what network would have picked that show up?
FX,
FX? You think FX?
TLC.
No, I think it would have
Okay,
been like
yeah.
one of those VH1 shows, like
Yeah.
like
MTV
Party Down
does-
South or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes Southerners look like idiots.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking it had to be between like TLC. I could see 'cause TLC does the hoarders and all the weird stuff.
or Animal Planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TLC. Yeah.
Yeah, Animal.
If
They
Animal
like
Planet
animals so
wanted
much.
those ratings boosted, they would have gotten that
Yeah.
reality show on
Like
there.
MTV does lead the league in like cringy Southern shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Teen Mom, which isn't necessarily Southern, but it is at the same time.
What about
Um,
CMT though?
Yeah, CMT
Oh
might
God,
be a good
they
one.
Yeah,
might snatch it up.
CMT.
CMT got White Swap or something now, right?
Well, CMT was sponsoring something of Joe Exotics because he
Yeah,
was
he had
on.
the CMT
Oh,
logo
yeah.
in the back. I did notice that in one
didn't
of
see
his.
that, for
Yeah,
real?
and I was like, man,
One of his-
that's a good one.
One of his
Like,
hit country songs. One of his hit country shirts.
it might have been.
that he
Those are
didn't
not
even
really-
write
He
or
didn't write
record.
or record.
And I'm really sad about that too,
Yeah,
because
me
I was
too.
the whole time I was
Yo.
thinking, Joe, you had a music
I
career,
wanna-
man. You should have pursued that because
How
I Saw
good-
Tiger is probably one of the best songs I've ever heard.
How good were those singers to like Joe tells them these stories and they're like, oh, we can make a song out of this.
Yeah.
What?
I
Y'all are
Saw
so talented.
Tiger.
Y'all are so talented that you wrote a song out of this.
And Tiger saw me or something like that.
yeah. But no, I definitely see like MTV or like TLC or one of those. CMT definitely getting it. I think CMT still shows Wife Swap, like new episodes of Wife Swap to this day. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wife Swap used to be legendary. That was a funny show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be.
Funny thing to me is like he's driving down the road and he said, "I just like to ride down the road, singing to my songs."
Yeah.
And he's like singing along to this thing, and it doesn't sound
At all,
anything
right?
like
At
that.
all.
And he's like a half step flat, and I'm like, dang, whoever produced this thing is the man,
Right?
like, cause he sure ain't singing this.
Nah, it was incredible. But yeah, this was quite the documentary.
Yeah.
I think we should do more documentaries.
Yeah.
Y'all
we
good with
should.
that?
Well, we got.
And watch
we're
more
on-
documentaries and then talk about them as a group.
Oh yeah,
This
But
is
we're
good
gonna do,
podcast,
and
right?
we're gonna do part 2 of this, right? We haven't even.
What did we
scratched-
miss?
I don't think we missed anything, did we?
Oh, I
really
mean,
missed
we
that
didn't
much.
get into James Garrettson.
Oh, that guy, the snitch.
Okay, well, I mean, I just want to throw this out
Yes,
here.
mention him. I was
The
bringing this up.
best scene of the whole movie and the best scene of any documentary I've ever seen is the scene where James Garrettson is on his Sea-Doo, on his jet ski,
That's the best.
and he's
closing
got his
ever.
shades. Yes, it was the best. I mean, give that guy, the documentary guy, give him an Oscar, give
can
him whatever he needs, an Emmy.
Speaking.
Yeah, that was the best thing I've
I don't
ever
think,
seen.
I gotta see that scene. I don't think I saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the
just-
closing scene.
Oh, is it?
Oh, is it
Riding
the
off
close?
into the
Oh,
sunset.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, of him on the Sea-Doo.
Speaking of James, think about this. My man shut the whole animal operation down over a lemur. He
Oh,
was so
yeah.
scared to go to jail for that one lemur.
Yeah, he's
He
like, the
shut
feds are on my
whole
back
thing-
about this lemur I got.
Can you imagine if you
I was
out
like-
here, bro, imagine if you're out here breeding tigers legally and dude come to you like, bro, they got the lemur. What lemur? I don't have a lemur. What are you talking about? No, my lemur. What do you want me to do about that? I gotta give him everything. No, you don't. It's a lemur, bro. Nothing's gonna calm down. Pay a fine.
Well, I
Quiet.
mean, do you think James was crooked? Do you think he was dirty, or do you think he
I
had
think
good
James just a
intentions?
snitch. James just a snitch.
Yeah. Well, who's the dude?
Well, no, James on
It's the
strip
dude
club.
without legs. He
First of
said he was dirty and he bought him like a.
He's definitely
he bought a
dirty.
stolen Hummer from him or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. But
James
then
is dirty.
James was like, "Oh, that's a complete
Okay.
lie." He's like, "That Hummer wasn't stolen."
I'm gonna throw a stereotype out there.
He was like,
Anyone-
if I stole a Hummer, don't you think I'd be in jail?
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
that's the famous line of somebody who definitely stole something and got away with it.
Yeah.
If I stole, you think I'd be in jail? Yeah,
Is
okay,
it-
so
I'm
you
pretty
did.
sure OJ used that line. He was like, "If I really killed Natalie," he was like, "Don't you think I'd be in jail?" Well, yeah, that's the point of it, OJ. You should be in jail because
Yeah,
you
like
did kill her.
That's the definite line. That's the definite line of a guilty person who doesn't have a full story together.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's that line I like to hit people. So people like to think they're funny. They
Yeah.
even do this at fast food restaurants. When you ask them like, "Can I get you anything else, sir?" Or is anything Yeah, I'll take $1 million. And then you hit them with that. If I had $1 million, you think I'd be here?
Yeah, I hate those people so much.
Have a great day. My pleasure.
Those
you
and
know,
the-
and that's how you do it.
Those and the fake discount people who were joking about getting discount. No, you're not getting discount. Pay, give me the money. Let's
Yeah.
go. Chop, chop.
I had one
Get over
person
it.
ask me, he was like, "My last name's Kathy. Could I get a discount?" Like, sure.
Yeah,
You're
like,
special.
Yeah, like pay
I wasn't funny.
Right,
Hit
like-
hit me with something I haven't heard, people.
please. Right?
Yeah.
Like, pay the money. Let's go.
Yeah. Don't
Um,
ask me for a lottery
yeah.
ticket. No.
but speaking of James and stereotypes, James he was in Miami, right? Is that where you say he was from? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I just remember he owned anyone who owns multiple strip clubs is clearly a dirty person.
No,
Not
I
to
don't
be
think that was
trusted.
Miami though.
Okay, he owned multiple strip clubs in Florida.
Was it Florida?
I don't know, but he owned
I
multiple
think he
strip
just
clubs.
owned multiple strip
Owning
It's a
multiple
clubs.
solid investment, though, when you think about it.
It definitely is, but
Well,
owning
it's
Not the
multiple
most
strip
moral
clubs,
thing, but it's a
It's
solid
Yeah,
got a-
it gives
investment.
I feel
you-
like that's got a low overhead
but
on
it
strip
gives
clubs.
Owning multiple strip clubs gives you an aura of you're not to be trusted, and
I
you're
agree.
clearly dirty. Like it just does.
A little shady.
Yeah, there's some shadiness there. And you
Just a
snitching
little
over
bit.
lemurs? Yeah, you definitely shady, bro. You snitching over the lemurs. Oh, I guess we can talk about this. Do we think that Joe hired them or he got framed? Tried to hire somebody for murder, or he get framed?
That's a tough one, man.
Well,
It's
that's what
very
the
I
whole.
can
conflicting.
flip flop both ways on
Yeah.
that.
Honestly, because I think I could see Joe. On one hand, like Joe's not smart enough to know how to hire somebody to kill someone. On the other hand, Joe was stupid enough to think you could pay someone $5,000 to go across country and commit murder.
He didn't even pay him $5,000. He
How much
He didn't have 5. He gave him 3.
$3,000 to go across country and commit murder. I could see Joe being both stupid enough to do that and not stupid enough to know how to do that.
But
So I'm
that's the
very
whole.
confused.
So for those, and I might be getting it wrong. Y'all may know. I saw an article a week ago. It said he's got a $94 million lawsuit out against Jeff Lowe and the feds, and apparently, the whole lawsuit can be determined on whether if it was Joe's money or if it was Jeff's money. Like who gave the money to Alan.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people who have the opinion of this is very easily this is a lawsuit that could be easily won by Joe Exotic.
Yeah, and one thing that stuck out to me was how confused people were like, oh, the feds, they came at him for all this other stuff. They didn't have anything to do with that. I'm like, that's what the feds do. What y'all think happens when the feds, why you think they don't lose cases? They just build up cases for years and then boom, we got all this other stuff. So if we don't get you on this, we'll get you on the other 35 things we caught you doing.
Yeah.
That's what the feds do. I'm like, yeah, y'all, why are y'all shocked? This is the American justice system. Welcome. Thank you.
They're not going to get
They
you,
get you one way or another.
Exactly. The feds don't lose cases for a reason.
Well, that's how they got Al Capone, was tax evasion.
Yeah, right.
So-
It ain't got to be what you did. It'll be something else. And they just get extra
Especially if
years
you messing with the
thrown on.
feds' money, you definitely
Listen,
going
bro.
down.
Yeah, the feds and the IRS. Look, you play with the money in any type, way, form, fashion, it's over for you. They gonna get you. They don't care. But yeah, that was interesting because I don't know if he actually did that. But
Well, the question is whether or not he paid that dude that worked for him to do it.
yeah, that's right.
Because they said that they had text message records from another guy posing for the feds
Yeah,
as a hitman.
Right.
And the text conversation with them and be like, well, let me get a couple of tigers and I'll be able to pay you.
Yeah.
But let me sell a couple of tigers off and I'll be able to get you the money.
Yeah, all that stuff is public record, right?
I
It's like
guess.
files. I think court case files is usually public record. Ooh, I should find a lawyer. We should go through the court case files with them and see if they think he did it. That would
So
be great.
the $94 million is $94 million in damages, and he's claiming
It's a wild
that.
number.
So this terrible lawsuit. I mean, in my opinion, but apparently it's a good lawsuit that he can easily win. But in the Sue Maldonado passage, that's his last name,
Yeah.
claims he was singled out for prosecution because he is, quote, an openly gay male with the largest collection of generic tigers and crossbreeds. He's suing them $94 million because he thinks everybody's jealous because he was open. Carol's
So-
jealous because I'm an openly gay white man who owns way more tigers than she ever will.
So that case is getting thrown out in like half a second, right?
I don't know.
'Cause
So
Joe-
I saw a thread, and
Yeah.
some dude who seemed like he was pretty smart.
Yeah.
He put like 4 comments. There were paragraphs each of him breaking it all down, and I just kind of like glossed over it. Then I
Right.
got to the end to where he said, he was like, somebody without a law degree could win this case for Joe Exotic. So I mean, the
See,
dude seemed pretty smart. He
but-
had a lot of information
yeah.
about it, so I'm gonna take his word
But,
for it.
Like that sounds good, but the thing is, I don't think Joe's lawyer is gonna be as good as the Fed's lawyer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have any money.
Yeah, like
And-
the Fed's lawyer is money.
But it's like you said, it doesn't matter if say that he didn't hire them for murder.
Yeah.
They've got enough other counts
To
of
keep
other
him-
stuff
right.
that they can prove
Yeah, it won't get
to at
everything
least
thrown
send
out.
him to prison.
Yeah, it won't get everything thrown out because they had 22 counts and the murder's only 2 of them. He got
Yeah, I think so.
20 to 30 something counts and the murder's only 2 counts. All right, so they can keep him in for everything else. But okay, well you don't have the murder charge. Here's minus 2 years or something. I don't know, but yeah. Oh, also we can talk about his third marriage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now that dude's gay.
He got that. That's the one he got right.
Yeah, that's the one he got right.
But I even questioned that to start with, because when the guy showed the early when they first kind of met and got together time or whatever,
Yeah.
he didn't. Not to say you can always judge a book by their cover. He didn't look all that gay.
No, he didn't look it, but the way I mean, I thought the dude was pretty flamboyant.
but
when
I
the
wondered how
first-
much of it was an act, though.
Yeah, I wonder that too. But when he opened his mouth, because at first I thought too, it was like, oh, he got him another one, and then he opened his mouth, and I was like, oh, he's seems pretty gay, and he seemed pretty open. He didn't seem all right. So one of the reasons why I thought the other two dudes weren't that gay too is like whenever they show him being a little intimate with each other, it looked like the straight ones were kind of fighting it a little bit. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
kinda.
saying? But this dude was all into it.
He
Like
seemed-
Dylan Passage was into
The
it.
thing with Dylan is the fact that he's still taking phone calls from Joe in jail says a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
You know, like he's still actively
Yeah.
talking to him every single day. So I think that says a lot for him.
Yeah.
Being,
He said that now that everyone else has deserted him, it's definitely not going to be the time where he deserts Joe.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's
Which
love.
kind of shout out
right
to
there.
him. I mean, that's good on his behalf.
Um,
But
How was he? 19,
yeah.
20? He's barely
Yeah,
20,
he was
right?
around that age.
Very young, the same age
him and
Travis
Doc
was,
boy.
right?
Him and Doc.
Yeah.
Him and Doc, and they barely illegal people.
Yeah.
Have you read about Joe's first two love interests that were not on the show?
No, there were more.
The first person that he was with was he died of complications from HIV and AIDS.
Sheesh.
And then the second person that he was with had gone to jail for something that was pretty bad. And then they got a divorce, and then he killed a man. So that husband
Wow.
is in jail for sure.
Okay.
Wow.
He's just had a really bad run
He knows how
Yeah.
to pick 'em,
with
man.
romance.
Yeah,
he's-
he knows
is-
how to pick them.
he
Yeah,
is-
that's for sure.
That man is not,
Good
he
lord.
did not do well with that.
Yeah, but I really hope that he disclosed that information to his other husbands, because if that dude had HIV and AIDS while they were together,
Yeah.
like
I didn't even think
they're
about that.
possibly sharing needles. Like who knows what?
Right.
And I'm just
Yeah,
going because
no.
they said there's drug use.
Yeah.
They might have been sharing needles.
Right.
Aside from the other ways that
Yeah,
you
I
get
was
HIV.
like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's other ways Joe was could have
Yeah.
easily passed
Sharing
that
it.
through.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But now he's quarantined in a medical
Oh, yeah.
facility of a jail.
Yeah.
And they won't tell the husband if he has coronavirus or not
Yeah,
because of
that's-
HIPAA laws,
Yeah.
which shocks me because I guess I don't know,
I
Because
thought-
they're not legally
because
married.
they're not, and he wasn't legally married with
Oh.
those others either.
Oh, okay. That
Oh,
makes sense.
really?
That-
But
that
then
makes-
he's
Wait, I
changed
thought they
his-
were legally married when they had that wedding ceremony.
No, that was just like a
Oh,
ceremony.
that was just a ceremony.
because I guess you think about what year this probably
because
was
you also
in the
can't
state.
marry two men at the same time.
Yeah, polygamy's still illegal.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, that is.
Oh yeah,
the whole time
polygamy
I'm
thing,
thinking
yeah.
like, is polygamy legal in Utah? Wait, where is it that all the Mormons live? Is it Utah? Is
That's
it
where it's-
legal in Utah?
that's where
Or
that
do they
know
just
for
still
sure.
do it?
That's where that show is there. Isn't there
There
show
are
on
a lot of
TLC?
Yeah,
shows
Sister
now.
Wives.
Yeah, Sister Wives. Yeah.
You know, the Mormon
I think that's based there.
community
I
and
think that's
their
based in Utah. Yeah.
polygamy.
But they were in Oklahoma, right?
Salt Lake
Yeah,
City.
in Oklahoma. So who knows?
Cra-
I do want to send a shout out to
crazy.
I do want
That's
to send
how
a
we
shout out
wrap
to
that up.
the homie. What was his name? Mario.
Yeah,
the former
Mario.
drug dealer. I want to send a shout out to him. Former drug dealer who didn't kill a ATF agent, but may have been at the house where the ATF agent was murdered and burned and chopped up.
And he's also the inspiration behind
And,
Scarface.
Yeah, who only did 12 years on a 100-year sentence.
Oh yeah.
That guy he was the most regular Tiger owner outside of, being the drug dealer thing.
And
Like when he was on screen, I'm like, okay, this dude seems semi-regular, except for the fact that he's possibly a killer, allegedly.
And there's also a twist in that too. So talking about a documentarian framing things a certain way, you know how he just pulls up to his compound or whatever, and he just makes it look like, oh, I can't get in. Like this guy's the real deal, rough and tough.
Yeah.
We both
Yeah,
listened
I heard that.
Yeah, on the
Billion said they got
Lebitard
that.
show. So we listened to a sports radio show podcast that's based out of Miami.
Yeah.
And years ago, the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos, they were playing in the Super Bowl. They're a satire sports show. So they wanted to interview a horse and a panther. And so they reached out to this guy for the panther. And they said it was very easy to get on that man's
Yeah.
property, and he was very willing to let them
But,
come. And
yeah.
he was like, so they were
I
kind of
do
framing
think
that a
but
little weird
I think
too.
the circumstances are also very different. It's, hey, I'm a documentarian filming a documentary. Or as
Uh,
opposed to, hey, I want to interview a panther.
Yeah,
You know?
I guess that's true too.
That makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because you never know what they're gonna make you look
'Cause-
like
Yeah.
on those
Right.
documentaries.
But also-
And if I was a alleged former drug dealer who allegedly had an ATF agent killed on my property that I had nothing to do with allegedly, I would also want to scare a documentarian by being like, hey, act like he can't get on this property. That way he knows if anything comes out that I don't like on this show.
Yeah. Well, also, I just thought it was very poor preparation. I also thought it was just very poor preparation by the documentarian too, because he pulled up to the gate and the security dude was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He was like, "I just want to interview him." He was like, "Oh, you can't get in unless you have an appointment."
Right.
And so I was thinking like, yo, did you not send this dude an email? Did you not try to make an appointment with him? I really just think the dude was there in the neighborhood. He was like, oh, it'd be cool if I just pulled up on his property
Yeah,
and it made
yeah.
it look like I got kicked out of it. That'd be really good footage for the show.
It definitely would be.
Yeah.
But
So
also-
I didn't really buy into that either.
Yeah, I think he knew it was coming. He just wanted to make him.
Well,
shake a
I
little
think
bit.
he's saving him
As a-
for another documentary. He might just be saving him for.
Yeah, I think if this documentary had originally stayed what it was supposed to be, like just about big animals or whatever,
Yeah.
and not turned into this murder plot and
Yeah.
polygamy thing, he may have gotten more airtime. Because I want to know
Maybe.
more about him.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in his story
Me too.
with his wife who likes some of the animals more than the kids. I'm very curious about. their
Hey,
life.
maybe we can get him on the show.
I
we
don't
can
want to do that.
interview him.
I don't want to do that.
Why not?
I'm good. I know too much about him.
Dude, just sweet talk
Allegedly.
him.
His alleged.
I respect
things-
him a lot.
I respect him too. Also, the things he allegedly did, I'm good. I want to talk.
Hey, he's a good guy who just got. He was at the wrong place, wrong time.
He was
That's
on-
all it was.
Yeah, he
you
was,
know?
he was on his own property when the undercover dude got discovered.
Yeah.
And they panicked. And when they say they panicked and shot him
Yeah.
while I was there, and then it just happened. Die. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm the leader of this group and possibly Scarface, but I had nothing to do with that. It wasn't under my control, allegedly. Yeah, that was an interesting twist. Interesting twist. So yeah, I think that wraps up the Tiger King.
Yeah.
show.
How long did
This
we
was a
go?
lot, man.
2
We're
hours?
at an hour 40, an hour
that's right.
37.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that worked.
Well, we
Good
don't even
times.
need a part 2. We pretty much
Yeah, we
covered
covered
it.
it.
Yeah.
We handled business. We
That
handled
was way
business.
better than the first one.
God, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Claire and Christina, for like helping us do this.
Oh, yeah.
Of
'Cause
course.
we definitely needed that. So, are we watching The Crown next, or Darren Hernandez thing next?
I think
The
y'all need
Aaron
to watch
Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Okay, so watch Aaron Hernandez.
next.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So
'Cause-
this,
Wait, The Crown? That's not a documentary, isn't
nah,
it?
it's just a cool
No.
show
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
just
watch.
a-
Historical.
Yeah, it's a cool show I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, I'm not really.
I like
really
historical
wanna watch
shows.
that.
I like historical shows, so I'll get into it. Levi doesn't.
How
he's
long
not
is
cultured.
the show?
He's
No,
not cultured like
but
that.
I like more. No, when it comes to, I love history, but I like more documentarian style.
I like documentary
yeah.
stuff too, but they ain't enough to go back to the 40s.
Except for the People versus OJ. What's the one that FX did with OJ?
Well, that wasn't a documentary. That was just a
Yeah, that was just a read, but
Yeah.
I like that. I enjoy
Did
stuff
you?
like that.
I didn't watch that because I knew the OJ 30 for 30 was coming out. I'm like, I'd rather watch that.
Yeah, but it was pretty good how they were able to typecast all those people. They look exactly like
Yeah,
them, man.
yeah.
It's like I was there,
Yeah.
like the judge and everything.
Um,
Except for Rob Schwimmer looks nothing like Kardashian.
Yeah.
Robert Kardashian. They got
Yeah.
that one wrong. All the other ones were okay.
Yeah,
How old
so
were you guys when that happened?
That was in 90.
That was 95, right?
94, 95, yeah.
94.
I was born in '95.
I was 1. I was in 95. I was 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
The car chase happened during a Houston Rockets game. It was like a NBA Finals game.
Pretty
I
sure the
think.
car chase was
So that was like
95.
94. I think it was not. This is,
It
let
was
me
like
see.
August of '95.
Let me look
Was it
up.
August?
Let me look up.
I think it was, I thought it was during the school year.
It was during the school year.
September, October '95.
Hold on.
I don't know, because
Nah, the car
I feel like
chase
when I was
was-
watching one of them, I just remember the Bronco, and I was like, and they said the date or the year, and I was like,
No.
oh, that's the year I was born.
The car chase was 94.
It
oh,
was
the
a
car chase was
Friday night.
'94.
Car chase was 94. Because there's a whole 30 for 30 about like the sporting events going on. Yeah, June 17, 1994.
I don't
'Cause it
know
was in
how
the
that
middle-
just.
Was it
It's like in the middle of an NBA Finals game.
I still
that
don't
was
It was in the
understand.
middle of hanging
Yeah,
with
but-
Mr. Cooper, and I got mad.
But the verdict came out in October of '95.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
that at school.
In
Oh, yeah.
high school,
Yeah, I was
said the old
couldn't
people
even
in
say
the
a
corner.
word or anything.
Yeah, I was 95. I was 2.
I still don't understand how
No,
that
it's
car
real.
chase alone didn't get him locked up. I was like, that just tells you you're guilty, right?
wasn't
if you're
driving.
running.
He wasn't driving. His man was
Oh,
driving.
that's right. That's right. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
the homie was driving.
I forgot about that.
Can't arrest you if you're not. And it was a slow car chase too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very slow car
That's where
chase.
we heard the slow speed chase.
Yeah.
In a Bronco.
Man, I still remember that image.
Yeah.
Like, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
And I was like, well, this will be over in a minute because I want to go back to my hanging with Mr. Cooper. It was TGIF.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch my Friday night shows. And it didn't go away.
Yeah.
And then I never watched Hanging with Mr. Cooper again.
Really?
Yeah, just
Wow.
never did.
That's a classic show too. It's underrated.
Was the verdict really big too? Was that one that all the channels just flipped over to?
Like,
Like,
everything.
We
Yeah.
watched it in school. Like
Yeah.
I was in math class.
What?
OJ
Y'all were watching it in
And
school?
we watched
OJ was
it
a
at school.
megastar.
Yeah.
We kept
He
the
was a
TVs
megastar,
on.
Yeah.
LaGrange High School, everybody had the TV
Yeah.
on. Like, it didn't matter what we were doing. We were still watching OJ.
Yeah.
Like, we watched the OJ trial during school.
Yeah. He was like the first transition athlete that transitioned, right? Like really good athlete that transitioned into like Hollywood. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was
John,
in
he was
movies,
supposed to be
commentating.
the original Terminator.
Really?
Really?
Before Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nah, that's
They had him pegged as the Terminator.
Gosh, imagine that would have ruined that whole franchise now. Like, it wouldn't even get re-aired.
Yeah.
that happened. That
Hey,
worked out okay.
That would've
And,
been
and the
tight.
whole thing was like, you can't cast OJ as a robot killer. He'd never kill anybody.
Look where we are now.
Hello, Twitter world.